I'm Steve Borey, and I am the author of The American Casino Guide.
And I'm Matt Borey, and I'm the editor of The American Casino Guide.
And today our topic is how the casino comp system works.
Now, the way the casino comp system works differs a little bit from table games to machine games, but there is one thing in common, and that is to get comped on both of those, you need to join the Players Club and get a Players Club card.
Yeah, it's a simple process. You just go to the Players Club in the casino. Every casino will have one, and they will require you to present some form of identification, and they'll give you a card. It looks like a credit card, about the same size. Whenever you play the machine, you put it in the machine. It'll track your play in the machine. Or if you go to table games, when you sit down, you give them your card, and they'll track how much you buy in for and how much your average bet is. And everything is tied into that Players Club card. So if you want to get rated for comps, you're going to have to. The first thing you're going to have to do is get that Players Club card.
And the way that the casinos give you comps on the different games is based off something called the theoretical house edge. And what it is it's different because on some slot machines have different payback percentages based on the denomination. Some games, like video poker, there's skill involved, so the house edge is going to be different depending on how well you play or how poorly you play. So on each of these games, they have a designated number that they call the theoretical edge, and that's they know how much money they should be making off you in the long term on each of these games.
Yeah, it's not like a regular retail business where, you know, a company buys a product for $1 and then they sell it for $2, so they know that their profit is $1 on that item when they sell it. A casino's different because they don't really know, you know, exactly how much they're making off of you. They know how much they should make off you, and it's a theoretical number. And again, it's based on the house's theoretical advantage on the game and the number of bets you make and how much you bet and how long you play. But it's all theoretical, so you have to keep that in mind.
And now, the casino does know how much they make off of you. Like, they'll know how much you lose. But the theoretical edges, they want to base it off the long-term results. They want to know how profitable you are for them in the long run. And the more profitable you are for them, the nicer they're going to treat you because they're going to want you to come back.
Now, casino players can be divided into two groups. You have your machine players, which would be for like slot machines, video poker, video keno, etc. And then you have the table game players, which would be like blackjack, craps, roulette, baccarat, etc. So we're going to start the talk off with machine players. Now, as a slot machine player, you're using your card, so the casino knows how much you bet. And when you're done, they track everything, how much you put in, how much is paid out, so they know exactly what your win or loss is on each session you play. But to determine your comps, it's not necessarily based on your win or loss, it's based on your theoretical loss. So what happens is a casino will, let's say you're a penny slot player, and you put in, you play $1 a spin. Well, you play a penny machine, it's got around a 12% casino edge. So let's say you play 800 spins an hour. So you're putting $800 through that machine. The casino advantage is, the theoretical advantage is 12%. So the casino is going to say, all right, this person put in $800 with a 12% advantage. So our profit, our theoretical profit is $96. So based on their theoretical profit, they will comp back to you anywhere from 10% to 30% of their theoretical profit. Now, in most casinos, it doesn't really matter whether you win or you lose. They're going to base it on that theoretical loss. So you could win and still earn comps based on your theoretical loss, even though you didn't lose. But what casinos want you to do is they want you to come back and keep playing, because they know the longer you play, the more likely the results of your play are going to match up with the theoretical advantage of the casino. So that's why they have these. And now this is one thing that slot players will have is they'll get free play and bounce back play.
Yeah, that's why we generally like playing the machines. We play video poker. We like playing those more than the table games, because you tend to get a lot more back in comps. You can get free play where they'll give you a certain amount of money that you can't just put it in the machine and cash it straight out. You got to play it through at least once before you cash it out. But it's more or less free money. You just have to play it through once. You're not really going to get that from the table games. They might give you a match play or something, but we like the way we're treated as machine players much better than table game players.
Now, when it comes to table game play, it's slightly different, because when they don't know exactly how much you bet all the time. It's not tracked like on the machine, and it's a perfect system. So on a table game play, when you sit down at the table, you take your player's card and you hand it to the floor person, and they will track your buy-in and the amount of your average. They will try and track the amount of your average bet.
All right, so another thing that's different about the table games is they're a little different depending on what table game you play. Some of them, there's skill involved. Some of them, there's bets with low house edges, high house edges, and some of them, it's just pure luck. For example, roulette. If you're playing on a 0-0 roulette table, it's a 5.26% house edge on any bet you make on the table, except for one, the 5-number bet. You should never make that, but that's a whole nother story. So, for instance, if you're betting $100 a spin on a roulette table, with 4 people at the table, you generally get about 50 decisions in an hour. So at a 5.26% edge, the casino would be making $263 an hour off of you. And again, it's the same thing. They'll comp between 10% and 30% of that. So if you played for 1 hour, that's $263. You'd get about between 10% and 30% of that back. But a lot of times, they're not going to send you something in the mail, and you're not going to automatically get a comp like you might at on a machine. You generally have to ask the pit boss while you're playing if you can get a comp, and then they'll go back and look, see how much you were betting, and then they'll write you out one by hand.
So it's sort of the same system. Now, again, if you're playing, they're not going to send you bounce back or free play for table games. What they're going to do is they may send you a match play where if you bet $25, they'll add another $25 to your bet. So those are the kinds of things. You get more of those. You'll get comps. You'll get like show tickets, room discounts, whatever, food. But they're not going to give you cash back when you play table games. So that's the main difference between the two. Now, one other thing to talk about in table games is that some games there is a skill factor. Like if you're playing blackjack, there are good blackjack players and there are bad blackjack players. So the casino may take that into consideration. They may say, "Oh, this guy's a smart blackjack player. He knows perfect basic strategy, or seems to know it. So our edge on him may only be about 0.5%, and they may see someone else playing and say, wow, this guy doesn't know what he's doing at all. Our edge on this is going to be closer to 2 to 3%. So that could be a factor in rating on table games. And also there is one other thing to mention about table games.
Yeah, and a game like craps, there's no skill involved per se, but there are many different bets on the table, some of which have extremely high house edges, over 16%. And there's other bets that have no house edge, but you have to make another bet. Like, for example, if you're betting the pass line, that has a 1.41% house edge. And then you have the ability to put what's called free odds behind that bet, which is one of the only bets in the casino that has no house edge. And you can generally, there's some casinos that'll let you put 20 times your bet behind it. So if you have $10 on the pass line, you can put $200 behind it in the free odds. But most casinos know that since they have no advantage on that bet in the back, that they won't really count that towards your average bet to get comped. But if you're making some of the terrible bets or higher house edge bets in the middle of the table, those are fun bets to make because they pay out a lot more money, but they also have much higher casino advantages. So the casino has to take into account what bets you're making on the craps table in order to give you a correct theoretical loss to know how much they're making on you.
And one more thing, if you are a machine player, we have another video out there. Be sure and go to look for this one. It's called One Easy Tip to Increase Your Players Club Benefits. It's got a lot of good information in there, and there's one special tip in there that will be really helpful to you if you want to increase your Players Club benefits.
All right, so that's it for our How the Casino Comp System Works video. If you liked it, don't forget to give us the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see all of the great videos we put out to stay up to date. We try to put out at least one a month.
Yeah, thanks again for watching, and best wishes for good luck in the casinos.